Come on, have the belt.
So there's a look at Dadoy Andujar. And Andujar is a guy who has had plenty of time, no excuses in this fight whatsoever. Al mentioned he took the Scotty Olsen fight on short notice, had to lose a lot of weight. Got a tough guy tonight in Junior Jones, but a good fight. One other little cosmetic note, it seems that Michael Buffer's rouge is a little more pink tonight, I think.
Expect me to respond?
Some knockouts for Jones, 33%. Never let us go on vacation.
No, 4 weeks off is dangerous. I think the early rounds of this match could be interesting because Jones wants to do just that, establish that he can attack and not be hit by Andujar when he does it, in the counter. Look out for the left hook of Andujar. It's the punch that, if any, will do damage to Jones. That could be the one.
It's Jones, the left hook to get things started.
Jones wants to use the jab, but not leave it out there so that Dadoy can counter him, because he also has a good counter right. So far, as you can see, as we would expect in this bout, where both men have a lot of respect for each other, and there is a lot of tactics in this bout that will be important, starting out a little slow.
We've talked about Jones on numerous occasions, but he has a very Thomas Hearns type body.
And it could go up a weight or two, a couple of weight divisions along the way.
Generates a lot of power, too, and you wouldn't really think with the build that he has that he would be able to, but he definitely does.
He punches well with a lot of leverage. One thing that Junior's doing very well, throwing a lot of feints at Dadoy and making Dadoy go for them. That'll make it a little gun-shy about countering so quickly. So he'll be doing something when the punches are coming.
One of the things about watching boxing here on ESPN is you really do get a chance to see a fighter grow, and I think Junior Jones really indicative of that. And we've seen him now probably 7 or 8 times, and you can just see him take a step every time he gets out there.
He really has improved. One of the matches, the 10th against Juan Carrazzo, the first time he looked a little tired at the end. Next time out against Jose Luis Vega Gil, he went 10, and this time he wasn't tired. And so, as you said, a constant improvement by him.
Become a very good finisher. Doesn't get careless when he gets a man in trouble, which is something he did early on.
And it's interesting when you think he is going to be 21 in a couple days. He is very young to have those kind of polished skills. Credit to him and his trainer, Joey Ferriello.
And tonight, of course, fighting a guy who has very much the edge and experience. Dadoy Andujar has been around. Come to the end of the first round, and the action gets hot as we come to the final bell. We start the second round. And the advice from Joey Ferriello in the corner of Junior Jones: use the jab, go 12 rounds if you have to, use the feint, basically do what you're doing.
Yeah, and they like what he's doing. Andujar landing at a decent percentage, but as is often, there's the hook by Andujar. That one, the first one got there. As usual, Dadoy will not throw a lot of punches, and that's a problem for him. Sometimes he needs knockouts to win because he doesn't throw that many punches.
16 knockouts in his 39 wins. We talked about his experience, 39, 8, and 2. All his fights in the Philippines, up to the last 3.
He's picked some pretty good boxers to fight in that group there. And then Scotty Olsen and Eddie Cook.
And his hero, pretty good boxer, too.
Flash Elordi, yeah, who was one of the great boxers to come out of the Philippines or anywhere for that matter. Great champion. There's the hooks by Jones. Junior Jones has a wonderful double left hook to the body of the head.
Just showed you. He came with the right hand there.
Now, while he's doing this, Andujar is just, you can see he's just calculating, can I land a counter? So far, he hasn't. And if the punches get too wide for Jones, that's when Andujar may feel that he can get something in. But he's having trouble doing it so far. And let's give Jones credit for that. And that's another thing Jones has worked on. Early in his career, as we recall, he was a little open when he attacked, but not anymore.
Yeah, I think Junior Jones really the perfect student for Joey Ferriello. They really seem to be a very good team. He's really dedicated. He wants to be champion, and he's willing to work to get there.
Break. Step clean.
I think probably so far Andujar has maybe been a little surprised at Jones' quickness, not only with his hands, but in terms of defense. Dio has not been able to land those counter punches. He's missed badly with the left hook on many occasions.
The other thing that Jones does that's really impressive is he's not only quick to get his punches off, he's quick to get them back.
And that, again, is something he's done better in recent bouts.
A lot of Andujar's punches have been caught in the gloves of Junior Jones.
Hey, there, break.
It's interesting, you know, they say styles make fights. The men that Andujar has done well against recently, Scotty Olsen and Eddie Cook, are both short men who come to him. This is a tall man who's coming to him, but doing it from a boxing stance. You can see it's giving Andujar a lot of problems.
Yeah, you can almost see, and you said this earlier, Andujar just trying to figure things out, trying to decide what he needs to do. Well, what he did there was get there with a pretty good right hand. We'll be back. Good job. Andujar did get there with the right hand at the end of that last round.
And a little extracurricular activity at the end by both men.
You know, we always talk about what makes a good corner and how good corners function. Well, they'll give you a pretty good idea of what is a good corner and how a good corner functions right now. Listen in between the last 2 rounds to Joe Ferriello in the corner of Junior Jones.
Junior, it's important that you back him up with the jab because it's busting him up and it's keeping him going back.
I'm doing it?
Yeah, you're doing it great. But I say I don't want you to stop it. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Now, the other thing is, try not to load up with one punch.
Back, break. Step back. Step back.
You got me?
One voice and no more than 2 pieces of advice.
And repeat it again. He was repeating it later. You want to give short advice, say it early, repeat it later just before the round ends. And the jab is doing wonders for Junior. And that's the difference. See, against Scotty Olsen and Eddie Cook, shorter boxers, Andujar, even though Scotty Olsen has a pretty decent jab, which he wasn't using that night as much against Andujar, without that jab, Dio can be an effective boxer. Now, Dio went to left-handed stance toward the end of the last round and landed one good punch. I think if I was him, I might go back to that.
Cannot emphasize too much that Eddie Cook in his last fight not only knocked out Eddie Cook, did I say Eddie Cook? Dio Andujar in his last fight not only knocked out Eddie Cook, but knocked him down 4 times.
Yeah, he dominated completely. Again, he's facing a completely different kind of animal in here tonight. Now, there's the hook, but that's what Andujar wants badly. That one may have gotten Jones' attention. Yes, it did. Andujar knows it, but he's looking to do it again. I'll tell you, the hook is very close now for Andujar. This round, it's different. He's close to landing a big hook again.
Well, we said that he looked as though he was just trying to figure out where he needed to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if it'll have an impact on Jones, but he's close to landing it. Meanwhile, Jones, of course, is going about his business of scoring points.
Keep it up, come on.
You know, when you look at Jones doing that, you think that he's easy to hit, and he's not. He is not that easy to hit.
A little short with the right hand by Andujar. Andujar, very patient fighter. But as you said, he doesn't throw a lot of punches, and that in the long run can hurt him. Coming to the end of the 3rd round, Andujar getting closer, but Jones still doing most of the work. We'll be back to Trump right after this.
Dadoy Andujar wants to do kind of. He got the hook in, but it was a slapping punch. He wants to land that a little more flush.
We start the 4th round, and in Andujar's corner, and I do not speak Tagalog, which language of the Philippine people. However, I did understand David Thompson say to throw combinations, which is the same in any language.
Yes, and counterpunch. He said every time he misses, you've got to throw a counterpunch.
Here are the total punches in the fight. Jones doing twice as much and probably scoring twice as much.
Landing the same percentage, but as you said, if you throw twice as many punches, you're in better shape.
Right, break. Step back. Step backward.
And you got a shutout for Jones. It's hard to look at it any other way.
No, Dadoy Andujar's not thrown that many punches, and Jones has been very busy.
Hands busy.
They had a lot of time to prepare Andujar. Now there he goes to the lefty stance. I think it's worth a try for him to see how he does with it. And I think he should stay with it for a good portion, if not the whole round, to see how it does. It worked toward the end of round 2 for him, I believe it was. See? Why not? See, it's confused Jones momentarily.
Andujar trying to keep the pressure on him, but he lunged in that time.
Break.
Staying with the left-hand stance here.
And there was a wave south of the border by Junior Jones. I think that if there is any small chink in Jones's armor, I don't think he does as well against lefties as he ought to. And here's Andujar proving it in my mind.
He got hit with the left hand, did Jones.
And you know, Andujar gives up a little power to turn the left-handed stance, but he gains something in terms of his punches are getting there a little bit now.
No punch. Get out.
And he's staying with it. It has worked to some degree in this round.
Well, 2 things are happening. He's not getting hit as much, and he is landing more often. So now he's back to righty. He may have used it so that now when he moves back to righty, he'll be better off, which is another possibility.
Make Jones adjust to him.
But I lied because he's lefty now. Just kidding.
He's gone back and forth. No, he did get back to right. Interesting tactic employed by Dadoy Andujar as Jones spits the mouthpiece at the end of round 4. We'll be back to the Taj Mahal with more right after this. We start the 5th round. Junior Jones in the blue trunks, Dadoy Andujar in the black. A little bit of a better round for Dadoy Andujar, the 4th.
A smidge better, and you can see he made it almost even. I ended up giving Andujar the edge because of some of the power punches he landed. So yes, and it was all due to the fact that he switched to southpaw, and so he comes out righty this round. Of course, he may switch back.
Seems to want to go to left-hand stance when he's in the center of the ring, although he's not doing it now. And Joey Ferriello in the corner of Junior Jones said, throw combinations. You're trying to load up too much with one punch.
He gives Jones the opportunity to land the jab better as a right-handed fighter. Jones done a lot of that. Junior has hit him a lot in those, getting out of those clinches now. Now he's back to left. And he might have stayed righty at the beginning. So give him that look now to see if he could confuse him further.
Andujar seems to push a little more with the left hand than he does with the right.
And his right hook is not as effective as his left hook when he's in the, when he goes to southpaw, he's throwing the right hook. But it can get there a little better. And in either stance, he doesn't throw that many punches, does he?
That's not going to get it done. Jones not the easiest guy in the world to get out of it. Nobody's been able to do it yet.
You know, I mentioned it before, and it's true. The key thing is when you're facing short fighters coming to you, if you're a good counterpuncher, you can hurt him. But Jones is tall, and he's got the jab, and Andujar having a hard time reaching him.
Good right hand. That hurt Andujar, and Andujar back with a right hand of his own.
And it was from the lefty stance, and it stunned Jones. That one did also. From the lefty stance, the right hook, right uppercut can get to Jones. There it is again.
Yeah, Jones' legs went for a minute there. Both men were rocked in that first exchange.
If Dadoy Andujar doesn't fight the rest of this match as a southpaw, he's crazy.
And there is a cut alongside the left eye of Junior Jones.
It came from that right hook. Or it might have come from a clash of heads, but he certainly landed some good right hooks.
And that could change the whole picture of the fight here.
I'll tell you right now, good left hand by Andujar. The only way Dadoy Andujar is going to win this fight is with a knockout. You can forget about a decision. He's given away too many rounds. He doesn't throw a lot of punches. So his best hope is to hurt Jones, and he's hurt him a couple times.
Caught him twice there, a left hand and a right behind it. But it's long. covers almost the entire length of his eye.
Yeah, if Andujar can hit that, he could create a problem with that.
In the 5th round, Andujar still not doing enough. Actually, I thought he would have done better than that, to tell you the truth.
Well, because he landed 50% of his punches, but just didn't throw many. Maybe this is going to be a pattern. He'll start the round out righty and then switch to lefty. Now, that's okay if he does that. But to stay as a righty, in my mind, is absurd.
This is the 6th round for the USBA Bantamweight Championship. I'm Al Bernstein. You're Al Bernstein. We have been working together too long. I'm Hart Schaffner and Marks.
We did a mind meld.
And you're Hugo Boss. It wasn't written in my pocket. I'd never known.
No, tonight I'm Pierre Cardin, I think. I'm not sure who I am.
I do know that Junior Jones is in the blue trunks, and Dio Andujar is in the black. And I do know that Junior Jones had a cut over his right eye, left eye, in the last round. I can't even get that right.
I guess you didn't know that either.
That's right. That's why I had your name on. You're on the right side. I'm on the left side.
You know, Andujar, I hate to harp on this, but he's still staying as a righty, and I can't imagine that because he's had decent success as a left-hander, and even if he would just switch back and forth to confuse Jones, now see, he heard me now. Darn it, he's listening. That's good. Because there he is. Now, it's not just enough to switch, though. He's going to have to get that right hook in, which he did earlier.
Cut starts to bleed again. It's not a serious cut right now. It's just the length of the cut that's being problem.
And Andujar hasn't hit it in this round. Jones has been content to stay outside and jab, jab, jab. But see, he can't land the jab as good as when Andujar's a lefty. So it gives Andujar a better opportunity. But again, Dio throwing so few punches. That's what Andujar needs to do, working it. And there's that right uppercut. See, if Jones lays on the inside with him, he gives Andujar a chance to do that. He needs really to be on the outside against Andujar. Oh, you see the head by Jones. That was blatant. See, that's dangerous territory for Jones, even though he's landing. He could get countered at any time.
Stay off his head now, Junior. Come on, stay off his head.
Yeah, and it backfired on Jones, didn't it? Because it opened the cut over that eye. His cut got open. That may have been because of all that head banging.
Watch your head, guys.
Jones does not want to turn this into a brawl.
No.
Get the head, guys. Get the head.
And I'm sure Joe Ferriello will tell him that between rounds. But the cut's still not a deep cut, and that is significant. Still a long way to go. We come to the end of the 6th round, and we'll be back to the Taj Mahal right after this.
And then in the corner, there's some of that cut over the left eye. And Barry, you were making the point, maybe the referee ruled it to be a clash of heads, which means if it was stopped because of that, they'd go to the cards. We probably will have to try and see if we can find that out. We're not in a position physically to do that, but we'll find out.
I thought I heard Robert Palmer say that at the end of the last round, but I don't know.
If that's true, of course, then the cut wouldn't win the fight for Andujar. Well, there you see, through 6, the jab, and certainly Jones, that's a staple of his attack, even though he's not landing a good percentage.
Andujar just not even thinking jab.
No, it's not his thing. His counter hook wasn't a great one, but it got there. Now, why do I keep saying Andujar should be lefty? Here he is turning lefty. Because watch the difference. When he turns lefty, the jab of Jones becomes ineffective and it becomes a brawl. See, look, they're in the inside. Were they on the inside for the first 30 seconds of this bout, or this round? No. I assure you, if he stays lefty, they'll be on the inside much more. Look, Jones can't land the jab against him. And this is one of the few places where I disagree with Joey Ferriello and Junior Jones' strategy, which they profess. They say you can jab as good against a lefty as you can a righty. If you're a right-hander, I don't believe that. And you can see by the footwork, I believe that a righty should step outside the right foot of a southpaw and throw a left hook to the body and head. And Jones has a good left hook to the body and the head.
A little bit of swelling under the left eye now of Dio Andujar. Not a big problem, nor is the cut at the moment over the left eye of Junior Jones.
And Andujar has done nothing to affect that cut. Well, Dio Andujar simply looking for one punch here, not throwing many, so it's hard to imagine it's going to happen. There's his hook, which, boy, has been dormant.
And he's gone back to a righty.
Yeah. He can't get that hook in as well as he'd like.
He took a right hand from Jones. They exchanged punches, but Jones got the better of it.
See, Andujar really wants that. He's very tough to hurt or knock down, Andujar. He wants that exchange.
Jones jumps on Andujar, and Andujar is there. Big rally at the end of the 7th round by Junior Jones, who already had the round won.
Jones over the jab of Andujar. That may be one of the reasons why he's not throwing so many jabs.
This is the 8th round. Once again in the corner, Joey Ferriello exhorting him to throw more combinations. Let's eavesdrop on the corner we recorded just a moment ago.
Don't let him con you. Walk right in with the jab. He's just trying to con you. You did, but you're starting to throw one punch at a time too much. You understand me? You can't throw combinations. Stop with the one punch stuff. You understand what I mean?
And he did throw combinations, actually, especially at the end of the round. In fact, I thought he threw combinations pretty much through that whole round.
The last minute especially. But Joey Ferriello is right. When he switches to lefty, Jones kind of stops.
In the 7th round, Jones' efficiency still up there, although his punches dropped off a little bit. 69 punches. Nice shot there. That hurt him. And a right hand crashes in on Andujar. Now let's see if Jones can finish. He's got him in big trouble.
I haven't seen Andujar hurt yet since I've watched him. This is the first time. And all the time he's taking big punches. The first time I've seen him hurt.
He's in a survival mode now. Swelling under both eyes of Andujar now.
It's not easy to get Andujar in the kind of trouble Jones had him in. You can see by the fact that Andujar was able to sustain and stay in there.
Don't let him rest. Come
After that flurry of excitement, it's about to settle back into, unfortunately, where it's been most of the time. Jones just kind of doing his job and Andujar not doing much.
They really did apparently take the starch out of Andujar, though.
Yeah, they changed the tenor of this bout.
Get out, step back.
You mentioned that, of course, Jones would love to get a shot at one of the bantamweight champions.
Another big right hand by Jones, right on the button.
It doesn't look like Junior's ranking will be in danger the way he's boxing here tonight.
No, boxing very well, doing what he needs to do.
From outside. There it is. That's on the way in, though.
Working the jab pretty well now, too.
Very well. And staying on the outside, which is great. That's what he should do. Great for him.
Coming to the end of the 8th round, a very good round for Junior Jones. He left no doubt in this one.
Come on, Junior, win the round.
For the USBA Bantamweight Championship.
Well, you look at those total punches, and in the last round, Andujar only threw 22 punches. So just not many being thrown or landed by Dio. He's actually landing in a better percentage than Jones, but throwing less than half.
The more this fight goes on, the less likely it would seem that Andujar can get Jones out of there. Jones really took charge of the fight in the last round.
Completely, and did so from the outside, which is where he should be. Andujar helped him out by staying righty the whole round. And now I just think it's target practice for Jones, unless Andujar lands, nice jab by Dio, unless he lands some real big left hook, perhaps.
I was thinking you started to touch upon this in the last round, but when they talk championship opportunities, originally they weren't talking about Canizales. They basically felt we're not quite ready for him, and now they are, and Dio Andujar's in big trouble, and down he goes.
I don't know. I think this will be over shortly.
Yeah, question of time. That's
Good work. Good work by the referee. And you know that was good work? As we look at Junior Jones, a huge win for him. He gave him the chance to get back in the fight, but then realized he wasn't going to.
Very good effort for Junior Jones. He did what he needed to do.
All right. And he made what potentially could have been a difficult fight for him into a very easy fight, relatively speaking. You can see, Junior Jones knows. You can look at the reaction there. He knows he beat a better fighter maybe than he's faced before. He's progressively gone up in competition, and he knows that he performed well.
And he didn't let the cut get in his way either. It was something that could have played on his mind, but Joey Ferriello in the corner did not let it. Right from the get-go, they said, don't worry about it, not a problem. And it appeared it could have been the kind of cut that could have given him a problem. It never got any worse than it was when it first happened.
Yeah, and they did a good job on it, as you mentioned, and he did not allow it to be a distraction. We'll take a look at the first knockdown in this round. Jones using the jab as a rangefinder. Interestingly, that hit the glove, but he was already hurt, I think, and then took his big right hand, and Jones hitting him almost when he's down, but not quite. Another angle of that knockdown. Now, there's the good straight right hand that hurt him. And then there's the right that bounced off the gloves, and Andujar ended up going down. Was able to get up. Robert Palmer gave him a chance in the fight, but as soon as he realized that there was probably not too much of a chance of Andujar protecting himself, he jumped in. Superb referee.
Yeah, it really was. Did an excellent job to jump in and stop it. Let's make it official now with Michael Buck. Michael?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the ring at this time to present this brand new USBA Bantamweight Championship belt is USBA Supervisor Marion Mahalan, along with Boxing Commissioner from New Jersey, Mr. Larry Hazard. The official time, 1 minute, 23 seconds of the 9th round. Referee Robert Palmer stops the bout. The winner and new USBA Bantamweight Champion, Poison, Junior Jones.
So Junior Jones really, I'm sure, using this as a springboard to what he hopes